Hey guys, today I'm going to tell you about my day yesterday. Probably my glasses video, I've got new glasses, will come out before this one, but I'm filming everything on the same day so that I don't forget. So, we're going to have a look at what's inside my pizza bag and, yeah, my day in general. So, the first thing that happened yesterday, I was running a little bit late for a workshop. So, Eckersleys is an art shop in Australia and Sydney, whatever. I was going to the one in Chatswood Chase, and that was because they were doing a workshop on Fimo leather effect. So I don't remember, have I done videos on Fimo? I've played with Fimo when I was at uni, just trying out a different material, a non-standard material. Fimo is polymer clay, so it's like clay, you make stuff out of it, and then you chuck it in the oven, and all of a sudden it's plastic. So yeah, and they have this new product, Fimo Leather Effect, which is supposed to look like leather somehow, and I was really curious about that. So I have an Eckersleys membership, and when the email came through saying, hey, we've got a workshop, I was like, I'm in! So I purposely chose a Friday session at the Chatswood one rather than, there's a few others that it's at, but I was like, this one's easy, we come to Chatswood all the time. Yeah, I purposely chose a Friday afternoon session. So they had a 10 a.m. one and they had a later one, and I'm like, I am not a 10 a.m. person, I'm more like a midday person. So, and then Friday, because I don't want to have to be sharing the space with kids and whatever, and you know, most people work during the week, it would be quieter, right? But the problem with that is when you choose a quiet time, sometimes things get cancelled. So I was running late, and then I'm like running up the stairs, and I get to the shop, and I can see nothing's going on, and the lady's like, oh, can I help you? And I'm like, yeah, I'm here for the workshop. Oh my god, she tells me it's been cancelled, and I was like, okay. So before I had a chance to even have a thought, she's like apologizing and all that, and runs off to find the manager. And I'm just sort of standing awkwardly, okay. So then I'm reading, I found a liquid text kind of thing, which I've seen before, but I saw like they did rocks with little pouring, liquid medium, like pouring stuff, and it looked really interesting, so I was just reading this. Looking at all this stuff, and then looking at, you know, all the different effects you can get with different mediums. So that's what I was doing while I was waiting. Then she comes back, and we'll look at the first thing in this box. She comes back after talking to the manager and is like, yeah, we're really sorry, it's been cancelled, blah, 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 you know, don't eat us kind of thing. And the manager, because, you know, we're so sorry and all that, is offering free product, and blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, free product? I was just here for the workshop, but okay. So, I mean, these have nothing to do with polymer clay. They are alcohol markers, decent quality ones. Like, I don't know what level of professional they are, but they say professional quality. So let me read the back. Alcohol-based ink, dual nibs, professional quality, easy flowing vibrant ink, plus brush and bullet tips for easy filling and precision. Use on artist canvas, paper, artboard, and other surfaces. So that sounds pretty full on to me. And then when you look at different colors, you know, like they have fancy numbers. Oh my god, I can't even, is it focused? So I have a basic color set, blue, green, yellow, orange, red. I have a grays color set. I have the floral pinks and purples set. I have the nature colors greens and browns kind of set. And I have the ocean set. So I got all this for free just because I turned up for a workshop that wasn't running. Yeah, I was not expecting that, but you know, I guess they just felt that badly that they didn't, because I had booked in ahead of time, so they had my details. They could have contacted me to say, hey, actually it's been cancelled, but they didn't, okay? But, you know, not bad, and I don't live that far away, so for me it was like bonus. But they were telling me, one lady came all the way from Newcastle. Newcastle is a city north of Sydney. It's quite a way away. You know, it's doable to drive in a day down and back, but it's a long way to go, and with petrol prices the way they are, oh, God help you if you had to go on the train, that's an even longer journey. Yeah, For me, this is bonus. For her, I can't imagine, but obviously she didn't stick around. But I stuck around and I talked to the lady because the lady, what was her name? Her name was Kathy. She was looking after me to make sure I wasn't grumpy. But I don't get angry very easily. I mean, I might get annoyed, but I was just kind of surprised. I was like, oh, okay, well, I was going to be in Chatswood anyway, so it doesn't matter. But no, they went that extra mile to make me feel like, you know, I didn't waste the journey and I've got free product. But she also said, oh, and you can have 10% off like pretty much anything in the store just for today, you know, to make up for it. And I'm like, really, do not tempt me because I have so many art products that I haven't used. I'm hoarding so much stuff at the moment. I really need to, oh my God, just work on some art. But I'm a hoarder. I can't help it. I don't know if that's me being a dragon. I don't believe in zodiac stuff, but it's kind of funny to think like, yes, I am a dragon. I will hoard things. Yeah, I'm a chaotic kind of creating person, you know. I jump from thing to thing and then forget, and then I just have all these materials that I never use. So yeah, no, and I had a really good chat to her. They're gonna send me like a little booklet which was basically about what was going on in the workshop. I also picked up these little things that tell you how to do stuff. Yeah, a few different things, and it's the late Kathy really did answer pretty much all my questions. Like, there's all these things you can do with this stuff. So you roll it out, you stretch it out to be more like leather, and then you can basically cut it and sew it like it's fabric. And I touched a sample. It feels a lot like leather, and I was so surprised with that. So I could make my own kinds of leather stuff. Like it's plastic, but it feels like leather. Are you insane? And you can sew it. Are you insane? Like, how did they even come up with this product? I don't know. Impressive. But she was answering all my questions about, you know, different things they could do, what she saw in the morning workshop, because it sounds like the morning workshop went ahead. So she was watching and she was able to tell me a lot of that stuff. So I was like, okay, so I didn't get the hands-on experience, but I'm still getting all the information. And if they send me that booklet, which apparently is quite a decent booklet, that would be kind of cool. So I was pretty happy, you know. I was like, oh shit, I'm late, but it turned out, doesn't matter. You know, it wasn't really on anyway. I got a bunch of free stuff, and then I got 10% off these, and I think I wasn't actually supposed to get 10% off, because these are the Fimo Leather Effect little things. I got red and black because red and black's me. But yeah, I think they were already discounted as an introductory price, so technically I'm not supposed to get a discount on top of a discount, but they gave me one anyway, and so I've got Fimo Leather Effect now, and I also got points for my loyalty card, and yeah, so at some point I will have a go at these, and I've got some ideas already in mind, because apparently all the experiments they did were about rolling them flat to make that kind of leather feel, and then doing stuff with it. But I'm kind of thinking, like, what if you don't roll it flat? What if you make it into a ball? Can you still get a leather effect? Because apparently you have to stress the surface to make that happen. But yeah, so I've got some interesting ideas for like experiments I could do to try and figure out how these use. But one of the things that I'm really excited by is that this stuff, like, you can actually squeeze this and feel. It is softer than regular Fimo, and that's one of the reasons I sort of stopped playing with regular Fimo, is it's so hard. And I mean, I suppose if you're a dude and then if you've been doing a lot of that stuff and you have the finger strength, fine, but I don't. I always found it so hard on my hands to get it soft enough to work with. I even got this stuff that you mix it with to make it softer, but the thing is you have to chop it all up and get it together in the first place, and it still hurts your hands to do all that, so that's a pain. And if I can work with this and get some interesting effects, maybe that's good. Like, I think this is even softer than Fimo Soft, which seems to be what, like, they seem to be transitioning to Fimo Soft. I didn't see much regular Fimo there. Maybe I just didn't look hard enough, but it all looked like Fimo Soft. This is maybe more like the softness of the Fimo Kids stuff. Maybe that's what I need to get, Fimo Kids. I mean, I'm not making high quality things anyway, I'm just stuffing around. But yeah, no, so it'd be kind of cool to see how that goes. So, my Eckersleys journey, you know, I mean, to some people that would be a disaster. Oh, I came out for a workshop. But for me, it was like, I got free stuff. They treated me like, you know, they gave me all this attention. I was really happy. At one point, the manager herself even came out to personally apologize to me. And I'm like, wow, all this for me? Yeah, so I'm As far as disappointed customers go, I guess I'm one of the easy ones. I have worked in retail and I know what some customers are like. Like, even if something was completely out of control, like, you know, the store could go up in flames and they would still be complaining that somehow it's your fault, you know. Often, like, the retail person, depending on the situation, a lot of the time it's not in their control. So, you know, what's the point of getting mad? You can't change anything. In some cases, though, maybe you want to write them a complaint. It depends on the situation, but for something like this, it's like, I still got a lot of stuff. It was just a workshop, it's not a big deal. I didn't come from Newcastle, I just came from Sydney anyway. Yeah, I don't know. I just didn't feel any anger or anything, so that's interesting. Anyway, so, no, we're not up to more bag stuff. After that, Mum and I went to our usual udon shop. There's Marukame Udon. They're quite famous in Japan, I think. Or I don't know, maybe it's Hawaii they're famous. But there's a Japanese udon shop. We love them. They're really good. Then we went to the optometrist. We did stuff around a little bit, but we, you know, eventually made our way to the optometrist, and that's where I got these new glasses from OWNDAYS, and I have made a separate video about that, so I guess, what side do I point to? Up here, I will put a card, and you can go and watch my whole thing about the glasses things. I made a whole, like, almost 30-minute video about that, because of course I would. And but like, in summary, I was really impressed with OWNDAYS. So they're a Japanese-owned optometrist. Their prices are really reasonable. I mean, you know, they were cheaper than Specsavers. I do know that Specsavers has deals where, like, if you get 2 frames for a certain price. I only ever get 1 frame, though, because I don't need 2. And then with 2, I have to usually get different kinds of lenses that are more expensive. So I would be paying for that twice, so for me, it's not economical. It's better if I just get 1 pair of glasses. And same with OWNDAYS. OWNDAYS has a deal where you get 50% off the second set of frames. I don't need that deal. I just need the 1 pair of glasses. And I actually saved $2 on my Gap, because I've got Bupa private health insurance. They covered most of the glasses, and then you pay the Gap. I saved $2. My Gap at Specsavers was $70. My Gap at OWNDAYS was $68. So yay. But yeah, no, a Japanese-owned optometrist means they had heaps more choice of glasses. I mean, they had heaps more choice in general, but they also had heaps more that fit what I like. So I like the thicker black frames, the sort of, are these a little bit plasticky? Yeah, the sort of plasticky look. I'm not really into the thin metal, because to me it just feels a bit too fragile. I'm a bit weird like that, maybe. And I also want them with the nose pads so that they're adjustable to fit my half Asian nose, because Specsavers is very white Australian, Western European focused. My nose is not like that. My nose is more Japanese, and so I can't have those plastic nose bridges that you can't adjust. I need the adjustable ones. So they had heaps of choice. The service was also really good. The optometrist was really nice, and the salespeople really helped me find the right glasses for me, and explained what the little numbers mean in terms of, like, how wide the lens itself has to be, and, you know, how that affects the thickness. I was so impressed with pretty much everything. So for glasses, I'm probably going to just go to OWNDAYS now, you know, get the Japanese kind of thing. Sometimes I think I'm a little bit biased towards Japanese stuff, but, you know, I do have that slight, like, you know, I look white, but I do have these odd little features here and there that are more Japanese, and so it worked out better for me. Mum went as well. And yes, this happened yesterday. I got these glasses in 30 minutes. They're like, okay, come back in 30 minutes, they'll be ready for you. I was like, what? Because I'm just short-sighted, so I just need standard kinds of lenses. There's nothing particularly crazy about them. Whereas Mum has multifocal glasses. They're more complex, they take longer. But yeah, 30 minutes, and they were ready. Amazing. So after the optometrist, we've got to kill 30 minutes, and I was like, gee, I'm kind of hungry. So I wasn't sure what I was hungry for, though. So we wandered around a little bit in the Westfield, and then I was like, hang on, it's Friday. That means the Chatswood street market is on. So in that little strip outside Westfield, and then heading up to the train station, they have all these stalls around, and I always go to the bonsai place and judge the bonsai, because I think it's actually Penjing, the Chinese version. I know the Japanese basically stole the idea of bonsai from China, but then the Japanese went and refined it, and I gotta say, those Chinese ones, to me, I don't like the design of them. Like, they kind of just make them small. There isn't really a particular design principle that I can see going on, and I just thought they were ugly. So So one of my hobbies, especially now that I work in bonsai, one of my hobbies is to just go up to anything that looks like bonsai and stand there and judge. And Mum's like, oh my God, really? So I had fun with that, but then we headed up to the food section. We went past the taiyaki. Mum didn't get any taiyaki this time, but we went all the way up to the takoyaki. Takoyaki is those little balls with the octopus and sometimes other things in it. So we got a thing of takoyaki, and they give you these little skewers to eat them. They gave us 4 skewers between the two of us, and Mum's like getting the skewer and poked it in and is like, how do I eat this? And I'm like, okay, I didn't realize that as a Japanese person, maybe you wouldn't know how this works. Hey Mum, I'll show you how it's done. So I got 2 skewers and I held them like chopsticks. And to me, I always find that easy because you can pierce them. You pierce the takoyaki with the little skewers, but you're holding it like chopsticks so that it's easier to control than if it was just piercing it with one. And Mum's like, oh, okay, so that kind of works. I don't know if she was expecting chopsticks or whatever, because I did have them. My brain is trying really hard not to say hashis. Sometimes when I get into the whole Japanese thing, my brain wants to use Japanese words. I think because we use Japanese words around the house sometimes. So I'm trying very hard to make sure I use the English words. But yeah, no, so maybe she was expecting chopsticks, but I'm used to getting the little skewers, and I figured out ages ago that the way I like to do it is to use them as if they were chopsticks, but with a slightly different utility. So I taught Mum a thing. Good for me, because Mum is full Japanese, but she's lived in Australia longer than she ever lived in Japan. Anyway, off topic. So we had takoyaki, and then I think we were trying to get cha time bubble tea, but because, like, you know, after takoyaki, they're kind of hot and that savory kind of thing, and you kind of feel like afterwards, maybe I need a drink now. But when we went to bubble tea, we timed it badly because that's when all the kids got off school, and yesterday I think was the last day of public school, so there was a lot of them and they're all in the mood to celebrate for the holidays, their break, and there was just this massive queue at cha time. So we tried to go around the corner to another bubble tea place, but no, they know about that one as well, so there's another queue there, and we're like, you know what? Fuck it, no bubble tea for us. So instead, we went up to JB Hi-Fi, and we had looked at the JB Hi-Fi in Chatswood Chase, which is where the Eckersleys was. OWNDAYS is in the Westfield, which is like across the road and then up a bit. Yeah, no, then we went to the JB Hi-Fi in Westfield, and I had already sticky beaked at Chatswood, so I knew what prices. I was just like, every now and then, sometimes you see like little deals or leftover stickers from deals that you've missed, and so, you know. But yeah, no, we went up to the JB Hi-Fi, and first thing, Dexter season 7, yay, no, because it turned out I only had up to 6, so now I have 7. I decided not to get 8 because, I mean, at the Chatswood Chase one, this had a sticker that was like 2 for $30, but I couldn't find anything else that had that sticker, and if it had been 7 and 8 together for $30, I would have bought it, but no, turns out the sticker wasn't even meant to be there. So I eventually went back to the Westfield one, found it, same price, $25. Not too bad these days for DVDs, and so now I have number 7. The reason I decided to get number 7, I mean, I'm watching 6 at the moment, and I like the religious kind of stuff, and then the twist in there as well. No spoilers, no spoilers. With this one, okay, maybe small spoiler, so just like block your ears, and when I take that out, you can unblock if you don't want to know. Okay, spoiler time. So in this one, his sister finally finds out that he kills people and, you know, all that kind of stuff, and I think maybe she also finds out that he's like a serial killer, not just like a one-off, and he's like Bay Harbor Butcher, blah, blah, blah. Okay, yes, so that's why I wanted to get 7, because I don't remember the rest of it, and there are some other things I think I do remember that I think were a little bit annoying. Oh, okay, spoiler. So, he's dating some poison chick who is also a serial killer. Okay, yeah, I don't like that bit. But for that other first thing I mentioned, and that's kind of dramatic, I was like, yeah, okay, I will sit through it for that. With 8, though, I remember bits and pieces of 8. I don't think I was that into it. And the ending is terrible. And then there were other things that I like. 8 was interesting. I think so. I think I watched 7 and 8 probably with my ex, and maybe that's why I didn't have it, because, you know, I don't know where he got them from, whether we were watching a legitimate source or not. But now I have number 7, but yeah, 8, I don't know. And I think if 8 had been, I misunderstood what was going on in 8 early on. So I don't think this is a spoiler. One of the characters is like a psychologist lady, okay? And what my brain thought was going on when they first introduced this character, my brain somehow got this idea that the psychologist was a serial killer, but she's not. And I thought if she was a serial killer, that could have been really interesting, but no, it wasn't that. And so, yeah, I think that once I realized that wasn't the case, I don't know how my brain even thought it ever was, but once I realized that wasn't the case, I was like, I don't know about this season. It would have been better if they'd had my idea. Anyway, so when I finish 7, I guess I'll decide if I want 8, because like it's not like they're going anywhere fast. But no, other thing I got from JB Hi-Fi, Lamb of God CD. So the one song that I really wanted on this was 512, and I don't think Lamb of God have this on their Bandcamp, which is annoying. I recently went and bought Bow Down by I Prevail off their Bandcamp for $1 US, because I don't really like the rest of I Prevail's stuff. Bow Down is an incredibly heavy song, and then you listen to the rest of it, and it's like they can't decide whether or not they want to be a pop rock band who just screams occasionally. I'm not so into the rest of I Prevail stuff. There's a couple that are okay, but none of them really grabbed me. So I was kind of just hoping to buy 512 on its own, but they didn't really seem to have that option. So I was like, well, I like enough about Lamb of God that I will buy the CD. But I want it to be a physical CD. I want to have to buy, well, do they even have an online source? I don't know. If you have a band, please have an online source, because, less people are using CDs, but some of us don't like streaming. I hate Spotify. It doesn't sound right. I'm not going to pay for it. It doesn't really pay the artists very well. I hate it, and so I got the free version. It's full of ads, and it doesn't even have ads that sound heavy metal. They annoy you with ads that sound like mainstream stuff, and I'm like, guys, you can tell from my listening habits that I'm into heavy metal. Can you not heavy metal up the ads? Like, they're trying to, the ad that is like, buy Spotify is really pop, and I'm like, if you're trying to get me to buy Spotify, maybe you should have one that's a little bit more metal sounding, otherwise you're going to put me off. But anyway, I hate Spotify. They're not good to the artists. Bandcamp is a much more direct way to pay the artists, but these guys didn't have it, so CD it is. 512 is a song that was inspired when the singer was in jail for accidentally killing a fan, or, the manslaughter thing I think I mentioned. Shit, I better finish up. Was $20. I thought I was going to pay. Turned out to only be $13. So, bargain. Felt really good. And then I was paying using my $100 gift card I got from doing a focus group. So, kind of for free, I guess. And the JB Hi-Fi guy could see I was struggling with how the fuck do I even use this card. So, he helped me out with that. And I felt really good. Got really good service with that. And then, after all this, is Hope actually woofing because people are home? What time is it? They shouldn't be home. Oh, they might be home. I've taken a long time. Okay. Yeah, no, go look up the story behind 512 and also the lyrics, because once you see the lyrics, you'll see why I like it and how I'm interpreting it to mean something to me. But no, after all that, then we picked up the glasses, and then the guy fit it for me and was really good. And then I drove home. I haven't driven in ages. We didn't crash. I didn't feel as anxious as I thought I was going to be. Yeah, really successful. It's like riding a bike in some ways, but you have to be a bit more careful with driving a car, especially the gigantic car we've got. Yeah, no, I should really drive more, so maybe Mum will make me drive more places just to make sure I keep up my practice. But yeah, that was good. And then when we came home, because we couldn't have bubble tea, Mum made fresh orange juice with half-time oranges, and they're really tasty. So that was a really good day, and I think Hope was a false alarm. I don't think anyone's home. So I've just rushed that for no reason. But I really should learn to shut up sometimes, because I end up getting bogged down in the detail, and then I get distracted by different thoughts. So yeah, overall it was a really successful day. Everything kind of went really well for me. Like, things went wrong, but then they led to good stuff happening. So like the Eckersleys thing, workshop cancelled, but I get a bunch of free stuff, and like they're like fawning over me to make sure I'm okay. The glasses was amazing, getting all that done. Japanese optometrist. Still might go to Specsavers for contacts, but for glasses, this is perfect. They were really good. I'm already adjusted to these pretty well. I mean, I'm still sometimes some things still look a bit odd, but I think I've already, like, I don't feel sick looking around, so that's really good. It's only half a step up from my previous glasses, so maybe that's why it's not a huge dramatic change. But yeah, things look good, feels good. I'm happy with the design, I'm happy with how it fits, I'm happy with their service. Glasses in 30 minutes is just insane. And then yeah, that was nothing to do with anything going wrong though, other than Specsavers and most other places not having glasses I like. And then yeah, JB Hi-Fi, well, the takoyaki, and then because we couldn't get cha time, I go to JB Hi-Fi instead and buy stuff to feed my dark side. And then turns out to be cheaper than I was expecting, so I'm pretty happy with that. Things just went well, and I didn't crash the car into anything, didn't kill any pedestrians on the way home, successful driving, and yeah, I didn't feel as anxious or stressed as I was expecting on that trip home, so it was a good day. I felt pretty positive at the end of it. Today I'm feeling a bit tired. Oh, I had a Coca-Cola last night. Don't tell my brother, but Mum bought Coca-Cola, like, you know, those big sets of cans. Yeah, she bought that like a week ago, and we've both been giggling like, how long is it gonna take Dave to find it? And he hasn't found it, because otherwise there would have been heaps more in the fridge. So I actually got some, put them in the drinks fridge, but put them like hidden behind things on this weird little shelf thing that's not really a shelf. And he still hasn't found them. So yesterday I was so tired from having such an eventful day and being outdoors and doing so much stuff that I was just like, you know what, fuck it, I'm going to have a Coca-Cola. And I forgot how big those cans are. Oh my god, I probably had too much Coke for my little body. As I get older, and I don't drink much Coke these days, I think I just have lost the tolerance for it. So yeah, but I drank it all. And I didn't have chamomile tea before bed, so I think maybe that might be why my sleep was a little bit And it's taken me a while to get going today, but I was like, oh my god, everyone's out. I actually have a chance to film, because in my live stream I was like, maybe I won't have a chance to film anything. But I do. It's school holidays though, so this morning Dave was already watching TV. Oh my god, and it's only the weekend. Like, we've got 2 weeks of school holiday. Am I gonna survive? Because that's when the house gets noisy. Yeah, what can you do? But I've made 2 videos today, and so that's good, right? I'm doing okay. I am still like chaotic, and I don't know. But there are a lot of other videos I want to make, and I don't know when I'm gonna have a chance to make them. Anyway, seeing as I still have some time. So 512, let's quick go over that. He was in prison for like manslaughter charges or whatever, because he pushed a fan off stage and he got injured and eventually died. I think he ended up getting off because the security and all that should have been doing their job as well. But he did spend some time in prison. I think they even put him in solitary, like for his protection or something. But in solitary, you know, you can't even see what time it is. You only get 1 hour out in the yard where you can actually see a clock and be like, okay, so time is still passing. And that inspired the song. But the song is like other things he was saying. If you read the interviews, it's like when you're in jail, you kind of have to change your mindset, because especially like in a male jail, I don't know what the case is in a female jail, but in a male jail, violence could happen at any time and you can't afford to be weak. So you have to basically call on more of that primal kind of stuff and be ready to like just like assert dominance over other people. And then some of the ways that you have to think would be seen as like a psychotic disorder out in the real world, but that's what gets you to survive inside. And so there's some fun lyrics, and it's got a real split personality kind of feel, and that's what I like. And that made my mood improve the other day. You know, when I was talking about I had a terrible weekend crash when I stopped watching Dexter and all that kind of stuff. So that song really helped me out. Some of the other songs, I've read through the lyric sheet last night, and there's some other interesting stuff going on there, but none of them speak to me the way that 512 does, because I put my own spin on it, I suppose. And it's also just, it's catchy. Also, one of the reasons I was happy to buy the whole CD is because I find his vocal style really interesting, and you know, supposedly he's doing Fry, but it feels like there's something else in there. So the part of me that's obsessed with vocals and trying to learn vocals myself is like, what is he doing, and how can I get close? Even with my female body and, you know, anatomy clearly doesn't match up, but what can I do to get even the tiniest bit of similarity to that sound? So yeah, pretty cool. Themes and sound. I'm not usually a Lamb of God fan, but I think maybe I'll be listening to more because it's interesting and maybe I've matured a little bit to listen to more. But it's good that I'm finally enjoying music again. We're coming up to half an hour, so I should really stop. But maybe I should talk about that as well sometime, getting more into music. But yeah, so I have had a successful day by all the things, and I cannot hold them all in my hand. Thanks everyone for watching, and hopefully I can make another video soon. See ya! Yeah, I'm just gonna click another video if I have the cards up. Hey, bye!